Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are looking at this. This is a part of Hasbro's Marvel Legends series. We have Marvel's Mobius, as seen in the Disney Plus Loki TV show. Alright, so I saw this figure at Target, and I could not say no to it. I'm a huge fan of Owen Wilson. I loved his movies that he did with Wes Anderson. Big fan of Bottle Rocket. I loved him in The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. You know, anything with Owen Wilson, I don't know. I just love all his movies. There's that one crazy movie, I think it was called No Escape, where he's like I think he works for like some sort of like a water company or like a water bottling company or something. And then so his job sends him away to like a third world country, and then he has to oversee like the production of something. But I think like the first week that his family's relocated to this country, all of a sudden the country goes into like some sort of crazy like revolution, and it's up in turmoil, and the city's in shambles, and you have all these rebels and resistance running through the town, making everything nuts, killing people and murdering people. So Owen Wilson and his family, they have to escape and cross the border before they get murdered. It's an awesome, intense film, and it has nothing to do with this figure. Okay, so let's just rewind and go back and talk about Owen Wilson as Mobius. So yeah, I saw this at Target. I could not say no to it. I love Owen Wilson. He's awesome. I'm so tempted to buy more of these figures just so I can make more custom Owen Wilson figures. So yeah, this is awesome. All right, so I think this might be a Target exclusive. You know, if anyone could clarify that, leave a message in the comments below. But I want to say this might be a Target exclusive. He doesn't. I'm like at a loss of words. I believe this figure does not belong to any specific wave of action figures. And I'm just saying that because as soon as you look on the back of the box, it's just, you know, there's no character lineup here. Normally, a Marvel Legends figures, there's always that lineup here of maybe like 5 to 7 figures that are also included in the wave. But this dude looks like he's a standalone, so that's why I'm under the impression that he's an exclusive figure. When you look at the figure, it's not that exciting, to be honest. You know, it's a guy in a suit. He comes with a baton, and he comes with his temp pad. In the back, you can see the emblem for the TVA. It's in the background. It's their symbol. You have the Loki logo here. Nice illustration of Mobius. And let's get that in focus. Will it focus? Yeah, there you go. Another illustration of Mobius. So here, Mobius is described as Mobius M. Mobius is an agent for the Time Variance Authority who specializes in the investigations of particularly dangerous time criminals. I think there's a typo here. They forgot to capitalize authority here. So whoever works at Hasbro in the graphic design department or packaging, correct that little typo. The authority is supposed to be capitalized. And on the subject of Mobius, one cool little like Easter egg is that the character Mobius, he's modeled after, at least physically, he's modeled to look like Marvel editor, the late Mark Gruenwald. And that's another reason why I'm very partial to this action figure and this character. Because I do have a tiny bit of history with Marvel editor Mark Gruenwald. So that makes this figure even more special to me. Back when I was a teenager, like I think I was probably like 15 or 16 years old. I want to say maybe 15. I was an aspiring comic book artist. And I met Mark Gruenwald at, it wasn't Wizard World, it was back in the day when the big Chicago comic show was Chicago Comic-Con. So way back in the day, before like Wizard World and all these other conventions that pop up, there were two big comic book shows in the nation. There was San Diego Comic-Con, Chicago Comic-Con, and then I think New York was also one of the other ones. But this was before Wizard World bought out Chicago Comic-Con. And Mark Gruenwald, he was at the Marvel booth, and I was shopping my artwork around, trying to get advice from artists and editors, and I already knew who Mark Gruenwald was. He'd write articles every now and then in Marvel Age, and he'd critique some of the like aspiring artists. So when I saw him at the convention, I wanted him to check out my art, and he was probably one of the most positive professionals in the comic book industry that I met, and who had anything really, positive and encouraging to say in terms of my artwork and me pursuing a career in art. It was very uplifting and very encouraging. And for that, he's always going to be someone I'm very grateful that I got a chance to meet. Later on in my life, post-college, I did do some comic book artwork. Did a little bit of illustration work for some smaller publishers. I self-published a comic book myself. I was also nationally published. I had this comic strip that was published in a fashion magazine for a couple of years. So, it's not that I was super successful, but the fact that I kind of like broke my foot through the door just a teeny bit, a lot of that I kind of like credit me meeting Mark Gruenwald, and for him, providing that encouragement to me when I was very young. So, he's passed on, and he's someone that, if he was alive today, I'd love to see him and thank him for that. So that's another reason why I'm kind of very biased towards this character and this figure. Examining the figure in the tray, it's Owen Wilson in a suit. This looks exactly like what it looks like on the TV show. He kind of has that crazy baton that, once you get hit with it, you get zapped and you disintegrate. He comes with a temp pad, which here it's very plain and basic. It's kind of like a brassy gold. It doesn't do anything like it does in the show. Does it even open? It does open. Okay, cool. I take it back. It opens up like in the show, and this is one of the things I loved about the show. The art direction in the Loki television show, it reminded me so much of the video game Fallout. I'm a huge Fallout fan. I love New Vegas. New Vegas was an amazing game. And everything about the art direction and the aesthetics, it felt like it was pulled out of Fallout. And the temp pad, even the on-screen graphics, it looked like they borrowed so much from the Pip-Boy. And if you remember Fallout, there's that Pip-Boy. It was kind of like a gauntlet you wore on your hand. It was like a miniature computer, and they had a heads-up display with the retro graphics. And the temp pad reminded me so much of that. So it's kind of neat that you get one of these. And the temp pad is also kind of instrumental in the story of the Loki television show. So it's a much needed accessory. Okay, let's take a look at Mobius. Alright, it's Owen Wilson in a suit. Alright, the sculpting, it's really well done. All the folds and wrinkles in the suit are very realistic. If you look at him in a certain light, it almost looks like actor Paul Newman also. So if you want to make a custom Paul Newman figure, you could probably pull that off with this guy. Yeah, the sculpting the hair is beautiful. It's nice and crisp. Yeah, very realistic. You catch him in the right light, and you'd swear it's like a miniature version of Owen Wilson, just shrunk down. But yeah, the folds here are really realistically and really well done. Towards the bottom of his pant leg, the wrinkles are kind of bunching up. It looks very realistic. He has nice boots or shoes. Let's examine the articulation. His head rotates. It's on a ball joint, and not only is it on a ball joint, but it's also hinged at the neck, so it provides further movement to go down. If I could pull that off. This way, let me try to remove this head. Okay, so yeah, here's his head. He has a ball joint, and that ball joint's on a hinge, so it can actually move up and down. So it can move down, move back. What pisses me off is that I reviewed that friggin' Icarus Eternals figure from the new movie, and I love that figure. But its neck articulation, it's nothing compared to this. The Icarus figure really needed this kind of articulation because that character flies around a lot in the movie, and it needs that additional movement of the head going back. So it's weird that a figure like Owen Wilson, who's not a super powered hero, you know, he's just a normal dude who loves jet skis and wave runners, it's like he could actually look up and looks like, you know, whereas Icarus, he can't even do that. So it kind of pisses me off they didn't give Icarus that. So Owen Wilson could look up, he could look down, like really down, like if you wanted to like look at his shoelaces, he could look down. In terms of his arms, they could rotate, they could go up, they could go outward, but it stops. So they don't go outward all that much. No butterfly joint. He has a bicep cut, so he has a bicep swivel. As you can see, double jointed elbows. He has a weight. All right, so this is cool. He has both a waist swivel, and then he has a swivel below the chest line, so he can swivel up there. And it's since it's on a ball joint, you could get him in all sorts of like. This character is like more poseable than he deserves to be. You know, it's like I've reviewed some of the superhero figures, and they don't have as much range of motion as this guy does. So it's, yeah, this is neat. I like this guy a lot. He has a really nice sculpted belt buckle. You can kick up. You could kick out, not too much, which is all right. He has a thigh cut, double jointed knees, and these knees, unfortunately, the pins are exposed, which is kind of backwards because a lot of figures nowadays from Marvel Legends are coming with the hidden pins, but that's all right. I don't mind. Yeah, so it's a nice figure. Very poseable. The likeness is there. It's pretty spot on. I kind of wish there'd just be a version of Owen Wilson without the mustache because I want to make custom Owen Wilson figures from like his different movies, but this one has a mustache, and I don't know if I'm that skilled where I could like carve it off with an X-Acto knife. Alright, since we're on the subject of Owen Wilson in the TV show Loki, let's bring out his best friend, Loki. So here's Loki. They look great together. You know, you can recreate their adventures from the TV show. I don't know. I think that was the one thing that was missing. Like when they released the Loki figure, I was like, I sorely need an Owen Wilson figure to pair him up with, and now I have him. So, all right, if I had to rate this figure numerically on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna be very, very generous and say a 9.5. Just because I love Owen Wilson, just because I love the human being the character was modeled after, Mark Gruenwald. The likeness is great. He almost kind of looks like Paul Newman also, so I'm a big fan of the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So it reminds me of Paul Newman. And I'm also I'm very fond of Paul Newman's like spaghetti and pasta sauces. I'm not sure if they still make them, but when they did, or if they still do, I was a big fan of the vodka sauce. So I highly recommend that. Great figure. The likeness is well done. Paint application is great. Sculpting is amazing. The articulation is pretty decent, especially for a dude in a suit. And if you have Loki, you really, really need this guy to complete the pair. Because, you know, they're buds. And one day they'll be reunited and they'll be able to jet ski together. So with that being said, let's wrap up this video. buy this figure. You won't regret it. It's cool, especially if it's an exclusive. Yeah. All right. So once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, enjoy your life, and most importantly, be happy. So I'll talk to you soon. Later.